Oh yeah, you guys like that? Yeah, buddy. Look at that. Look, we just added this too. Looks.
Guys, does your windows not go up? They just stay down, or they stay up and not go down? Are your power windows? Oh wait, are your windows even powered? If they're not, you guys should be watching this video, because I guess what? Your mom's windows are powered. Your boy's windows are powered. Shoot, your girlfriend's windows are powered. So why not is your 70 Chevelle not powered? Guys, we gonna be powering it up. Stay tuned for that. That's what's going on. Welcome back to the channel. Let's get it. We got a lot of work to do. Still working on this 70 Chevelle. We're trying to get rid of a lot of these big boxes. We're waiting on parts to even, this thing hasn't even fired yet. We're putting already glass in. Guys, did you guys watch that infomercial just now? That guy trying to sell you on power windows? What you think of that? Y'all let me know about that guy. Should we keep him around? Should we hire him for our intros? Let me know. But let's go ahead and get cranking. We're going to get these power windows installed. And then along with the glass, guys, we'll put that in on the last video you guys watched. We have the glass right there, bam, waiting to be installed. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing going. We'll start on the driver's side, and with a little bit of power and magic from editing, we'll have the passenger side done too. Let's get to it. So this is the setup we ended up with, guys, for our 1970 Chevelle. These go away. This same kit can be used for a 72 or 70 through 72. So what they give you is they give you left and right, and then you give you a harness for each side. But the kit that I particularly got, I got the one. If you look at this guy here, this is basically your window switch. If you look, but what you actually end up using is your stock handle, your crank handle. So what it does, it acts like a switch. When you rotate the handle up or down, it'll move the window regulator, acting like your switch to roll your window up or down. I wanted to keep the look, the factory look, without having switches there. Look like a manual handle, and I really like these handles from Ring Brothers. So that's why I went with this kit also. 80s Performance provided this kit for us. If you tell him what you're working on, he can get it for you. I'll put his link to his Instagram on and down below. You guys can check that out if you guys are interested in a kit like this. He can also get you these Ring Brothers handles. I got these. These are really nice for my 70 Chevelle. I got the front and the rear. I had these powder coated. They're a little bit different. They come, I think they come in black or raw finish, whatever you want. But as far as hooking these things up, they're pretty easy. You got your 4 bolts here for your window regulator itself. This will bolt up. They actually give you a little instruction guide like this, and you'll bolt those up in those 4 holes there. Nothing too crazy. Obviously, make sure you remove those. These are your bolts. Just take them out. You reuse those. And then you have one connector right here to the actual motor itself that'll come off your harness. And then you'll have these 6 wires that'll come off the harness on the other side. And you'll connect those just like that. You'll have one here. You'll be able to tell. It's pretty dummy proof. The 2 longer ones go on the outside of this guy here, and then the power and the grounds. You'll have 1 power, 1 ground on each side. So make sure you stagger those. Make sure you have 1 on each side, and then you'll have your actual power, 12-volt power supply here on this side, and then your negative, your ground on this side. It's super important that you guys find a good ground, whether it's a chassis ground or you have a designated like grounding post or whatever you have on your car. What I'm probably going to end up doing with the power though, I'm going to run this to ignition on, just to straight ignition on only, not to where it's constant power. I'll run it to an ignition source where the keys, when the key is on, you'll be able to roll up and down the windows, versus if you have run it to direct power, 12-volt power supply all the time, then somebody can roll your windows up and down at any point in time in the car. So you don't want that. They also give you, I really wish I would have known this, but I had went and bought some of these. These are going to be your wire loom basically in your door jamb, so you can run your wires through your door. Just drill a hole out for those. If you already have some, maybe your car will have already had electric windows, then you're good. Also, try to bench test this before. That's why I kind of have everything hooked up. I bench test this. Make sure your window regulator works before you put it in the car. I just used a little guy, 12 volt. Just make sure you have a 12 volt. It's got to be 12 volt power supply or some kind of battery, or else you'll burn this thing up. No more than 12 volts, guys. Bench test that. Make sure it works. Everything works. Everything looks good before you install, before you waste a lot of time. We're going to go ahead and get started, and we'll meet you at the car. Here we got the driver's door. We got to start by removing the old window regulator. Don't remove the lock, the actual door handle. That's the door handle. The furthest one over here is your window regulator. This guy here. We got to remove that. If you guys have not removed the glass, obviously you have to do so. You got to remove the bar along with the track, which is the bar. And then the bracket it sits on. I've already removed the glass in here. There's no glass in here. So we're going to start by taking these 4 bolts out. Those will come out, and those will remove that window regulator come out. You should be able to pull it out through here. And then this, we might end up, we're probably going to end up moving this guy here. This is for your door panel to sit on. And then this one as well. Remove those, and then remove anything that might be in the way of your glass going in. Make sure you remove anything sharp like that, or that can damage the glass or anything else. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll remove that stuff, and then we'll install the new window regulator. The new window regulator is going to sit a little bit different. It's going to mount differently just because it's powered. So we're not going to utilize the exact same holes, but you will utilize maybe 1 or 2 of them. You'll see how it sits, and we'll go over that once we got it in. Let's get started. Here we have driver side, which is left side, window regulator. Use these hardware here, these 4 bolts we're going to use. But another thing to note, I should have told you guys when we were going over the parts, not a big deal, but you want to grease this area here where your motor rides at, any joints. Grease anything that has movement in it. It'll basically create less friction once you grease everything. Less friction means it'll last longer, so make sure you grease everything here. I just use this kind of all-purpose grease here. Nothing crazy. You can use white lithium grease too, whatever you guys want to use. But it's basically going to sit like this, more or less, just like that. You want to make sure that arm's facing that way, because this window roller here will sit in the track on the glass itself, but it should sit inside here just about like that or so, give or take the location. But let's get these off, and then we'll grease everything. Nice set of gloves helps, especially when you got grease and everything, because you'll get your hands, that stuff gets everywhere. So let's get going here. What I came up with is this little guy is gonna sit in here, right? They give you like this little BS template, I would call it. This little guy here, not really helpful, because for one, the template is smaller than the actual part, so that doesn't really help us. So you guys can see on this factory door right here, there's nothing there, and it's the same on both sides, both doors, and not just the factory cutout. And where this screw's got to land, basically, where these markings, these 3 markings are at, on this side, you guys can tell we don't even have any metal there. So we're not going to be able to put a screw there. We're just going to use 2 out of the 3, 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom, and that should hold it. But the issues that we're running is when you see how you kind of go barely up and barely down, you have the screw hole. Basically, there's they're like right on the edge of that metal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start drilling a super small hole here, super small hole here, very close to the edge, and then you just keep making it bigger and bigger and bigger until we can get that screw in there that it came with, just enough to where we still have some metal on the edge. It's not ideal, but it should work. Let's go ahead and try it and see what it looks like. How close these holes are to the edge. I mean, we really don't have a choice. We might even have to get a little closer, because what it is those screws are that much further apart on that actual switch, on that crank switch. So we're gonna try to bolt them up and see how this works. Let's give it a shot here. So it looks like that should work, actually. Not ideal, it's not how I would like to do it, but we tighten these up, connect our wires. You see the issue where this here, there's no metal there? I mean, you can go through all the trouble and add metal here and whatnot if you really wanted to, but I'm not going to, because it's pretty sturdy. I mean, and they're not even super tight. And all you're gonna be doing here is putting your handle here, and this will just kind of sit here. You don't even, a lot of pressure, you just go, you're just gonna crank it up and back once. If I can get the handle on, just back and forth like this. So there's really not a lot of pressure that we put on it, so 2 screws should do it just fine. If you guys come up with a different way, put it down in the comments below. But we're gonna roll with that. What I'll do is I'll hook up my harness and everything before we set this, because you can see where the connectors are towards the bottom. Everything plugs in on the bottom of this guy. So we'll hook everything up there. We did go ahead and drill the side hole here inside on the side of the door. We went through the inside of the door. I stuck my drill on the inside of the door and reamed it out the inside out. Just use a step bit. And we still got to do the cow side here real quick. We'll do this side, and then we'll get the grommet in there and run our wires through there and connect everything up and make sure everything works still. Let's just make sure I can get this handle to stay on, right? That's, if you tilt it up, see how it goes up? Just tip it down, all the way down, so we're good. And this is where I want to show you guys, look how close that switch is there. You see that? That's why I made sure to try to get these nice and tight so nothing gets caught there, you know. You see how that thing travels pretty close, but yeah, all we got to do is put that track in and then put the glass in and then kind of align everything. more or less to where we need it at. Let's get the glass. First up, we got to get this track in. We're going to put the track in first. That's really the first thing you guys need to do, other than the window regulator being in already. Let's go ahead and slide this thing in here real quick. Just be careful because this thing is messy. We're going to put a nut on the bottom of this. And we'll slide a bolt up top there to kind of keep that thing from moving. That's in. We're going to try to get this track up here and then slide it onto the window regulator. You want to stick your roller in here, but we might need to lower this window regulator. You know what? I'm gonna just actually loosen this up and then slide it in. The window regulator arm is way up here. Way up. Window regulator is in the track. Now we gotta go get our glass, bring it up here, drop it in and align it with these holes. We're gonna lower this a little bit. Look at that, huh? All right. Okay, we're past it. We're past. Now we gotta get it. Now we gotta line it up with those 4 bolts on the glass. We got the glass in. Nothing super tight. I mean, I did tighten these 2 up, but these are still fairly loose. Just because you're gonna want an adjustment when you have everything in and you want to line everything up with the door itself and the frame. But I'm going to leave it pretty loose because we still don't have the weather strip in, if you guys remember in the last video. But we'll go ahead and put our door mesh here, the door sashes here, to push that glass forward. Alright guys, so we got these back on. Don't forget about these though. These are super important. If you guys don't know which one to do which, the big pointy one like that will go towards the back and it'll fall in that hole like that. It's basically to keep the window from going up too far. And we'll put the one on this side too real quick. Just the last thing you want to do, especially with power, is take this glass as high as you can and then you end up cracking it or putting too much pressure on it and then it breaks or something. So important to make sure you put these stops in. Make sure you guys have your stops down here. You should have 2 stops, one on each side here and here. This one's covered, but it's there. And that'll keep also the glass from going too far down. Hey y'all, I know it's been months. That video, all that stuff you guys just saw, it was recorded so long ago. You guys can see how much interior we already got, but and I did the install a while back, but I never really went back and showed you guys. So I wanted to add this to this video because when we did that door over here, is you needed to have some kind of control right over that window from the driver's side, or else it wouldn't make no sense to have power windows, right? What I had to do is I had to get this another kit that they sold
So I had to make sure. So whenever, this is another reason why I stopped the video, because I wanted to make sure we had this installed. And this is basically an extension of that handle slash switch. Because you guys remember these ones, we got the ones where you just have the crank, and the crank acts as your switch. So if we had it on that side, it wasn't going to work, right? So make sure you guys order the extension harness kit, and that'll just literally plug in right to where all your other connectors are at right there. So you'll just remove a few of them there. The instructions are pretty easy. Remove 2 of them, and you'll add these 2 leads, and that's it. And then you just run it all the way back, obviously wherever you want to locate this switch. But I put mine on my center console here, so that way I can roll that window up and down. I'll show you guys. See that? Because or else it wouldn't have made any sense to have this thing only be able to roll down from that passenger door. I mean, you might as well have manual windows, right? So make sure you get this switch, and then you do also have to ground it as well. So you're going to have 1 ground you're going to have to run. Just find a good ground, and that's about it. And then the rest of the stuff, you should be able to run back to that other door. But oh yeah, you guys like that? Yeah, buddy. Look at that. Look, we just added this too. Looks real good, huh? Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Yeah. I like, you know what? I really like these gauges though. These gauges are so cool. You can have a night mode, and then you can have a daytime mode. So right now that's the daytime lights that'll be on when I'm driving. And if I go night, check it out. Bam. That shit is so cool. So cool, so dope. Shout out to Dakota for that. That looks so cool. But you can customize those too. So Dakota, appreciate you. But in other words, sorry about this video being so late. But hey, some good info in that video. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications. Guys, if you guys not have got your swag yet, make sure you get your swag at gooseperformance.com. Link down in the description below. And stay wrenching.
What you wanna do when the sun goes